Good morning, everybody. I'm Neal, aka the Mundis, and here we are with another live stream. We're talking Hasbro Pulse Con 2022. I'm sure a lot of you caught it today or yesterday and the day before. Um, we got a lot of stuff to go over, but before we get into it and before we go over that stuff, I want to thank everybody for tuning in today. Um, Remember, I'm Yesterland Toys. You can go up to my website, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, follow us there. We talk vintage toys 100% of the time, modern toys, 80s pop culture, Gen X, all the fun stuff. Um, you know it, we're doing it. Let's have fun with it. So, we got some good stuff to go over. I'm going to be truthful. I haven't watched all of Hasbro Con's videos from day one and day two and what they had, but you know, I got the gist of it. I think I highlighted and captured a lot of the toys, let's say, that I think were the big hitters. And some of you might agree, some of you might disagree, whatever it is. But, anyways, we're going to be going over that here in a few minutes. And yeah. So, again, this is an open live stream. I've highlighted and pinned the link in the chat. So, if you want to chime in, you want to give your 2 cents on it, we can talk about it. Let's do it. Let's have some fun with it. What are your pros? What are your buys? What are your cons? Which ones will you not be buying? Which ones do you think were a big flop? So, anyways, without further ado, let's get into it, guys. So, I'm going to go ahead and put up my slides now. And this was some of our marketing material that we were given. It has been put out for a few months now. And this was kind of like our start of what we were told we were going to get. And this is what we were told who was going to be introduced, what product lines. And we have Star Wars, Marvel, Nerf, Fortnite, Magic, Transformers, Power Rangers, G.I. Joe, and Indiana Jones starting lineup. Now, I don't think I hit every single line when it came to it with the stuff that was announced and shown, but I got a little bit of it. Like I said, I think I hit the highlights, the big game changers, the big pieces to Hasbro Pulse Con, and hopefully it's a win for us. So let's see what we got. So moving forward, one of the biggest things that was announced earlier in the week, that was the starting lineup line. Now, there's been some mixed emotions on this. Guys in the sports community loving it. I've seen they think it's awesome. I remember starting lineups when it first came out when I was a kid. They were those fixed pose figures, baseball players, football players, whoever. They were fixed, and it was what it was. Now, I've always said, now that we have all this articulation in the toy line, why haven't they made posable and articulated figures and all that? Well, here we go. Hasbro's doing it. Now, me personally, if I'm going to collect anything from this, I might collect 1 or 2 figures out of this. If they do football series eventually, I'll collect some of maybe the football icons that I liked as a kid growing up, because I like football and some baseball. But other than that, man, the figure line all around, it's when I heard it, I was like, okay, this is cool. But it wasn't like, yeah, oh, I'm in it. I'm invested. I'm going to stack up all my characters and all that stuff. So Let's see. We've got someone that's already popped into the chat. Mr. Bill Smith, thank you for tuning in, sir. And the indie stuff was fire. Yes, it was. And we will get to that. We will get to the indie stuff here shortly. I have a lot of slides to get through. So again, whoever wants to chime in, we can do this as we go along. We could bounce around. So I hope you guys enjoy this. But anyways, these were some of the first earlier announcements in the week. The starting lineups line for me personally. Let me know in the comments, guys. Was this a yes? Was this a no? Was this a thumbs up, a thumbs down for you? For me, I'm going to give it a hard thumbs down, but I know they'll probably come out with a football line at some point of, maybe not every football player. They're going to hit the iconic ones. Joe Theismann, probably Joe Montana, big Jerry Rice, Troy Aikman, things like that. Big iconic character, football athletes. But for now, this is not for me. Moving forward, here we go. Day one, Hasbro Pulse Con. Now, I caught a lot of the intro and went back and rewatched it. And to me, the first thing I got was way over excitement, overly cheesy, overly hyped, and everything was excellent. And I get it. I get you have to do that in order to promote your stuff. So I totally understand. But for me, it was just overly cheeseball for the most part. And, it is what it is. But, it's like, okay, guys, you're introducing it. I get it. Let's get to the action figures. Let's get right down to it. I'd rather hop into it and put all the hype off to the side, because the hypes and the speculations and all that have been out for the last, couple weeks. So let's get right down to it. Let's reveal stuff. So again, like I said, this stream is not going to be every single character and action figure that was announced. I'm taking a lot of the highlights and we're going to touch base on it and we're going to go from there. And excuse me while I get a drink. My throat was getting a little dry. Anyways, day one, big announcement right out the chute. Hasbro goes with the selfie. And we knew the selfie action figure type of thing that you're going to be able to do for yourself and purchase it. We knew that was going to be an option. The first thing I said to myself was, oh, great. We're going to give all the collectors the big egos that they want of being an action figure themselves. I get it from a business standpoint and a marketing standpoint. You can now be along with your action figures, but it really wasn't impressive for me. We already know that the printing for these are 3D printing, but it's on a higher end scale. And I know a lot of us got that information early up. So these heads are not going to be like your standard, $500 to $1,000 style printer, 3D printer printing these heads. They're going to be decent quality, but they're not, molded and things like that professionally, and then, casted that way. So, but for me personally, it's going to be a thumbs down. It's going to be a no. I'm passing on it. I'm not doing anything with my head and turning myself into an action figure. What about y'all? Let me know in the comments. Drew G, what's up, sir? Welcome. Thanks for stopping by. Hold on a sec. Excuse me. Excuse me. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's my allergies or what, but I've been sneezing and coughing the last couple of days, so I apologize. I don't mean to cough into the mic. Red Room in Drew G, there you are. Red Room. What's up, man? What's going on, Bog? How you doing today? Thanks for stopping by and checking us out. If you haven't already, kind of rewind this, check it out. I just did a little recap little intro and recap of what's been going on for the last couple of days with Hasbro PulseCon. And we're basically starting here. We're at the selfie section, if you will. of day one. And this is what you can do. So if you end up taking a picture of yourself and doing the whole 3D scan, you can get a nice close to picture of yourself, head sculpt, and put it on your favorite action figures. Or you can select your favorite action figure that you want to get at some point. Yes, Red Room, I can totally agree. Red Room says this seems like a pointless thing to get. For me, it is. I get there's going to be fans out there and collectors that are going to want to stick their head on these bodies, these action figures, but you know, to each their own. For me, like I said, this is a big no. I'm passing on it. What is it, like 80 for the head on a body? Yeah, exactly. You're exactly right. It's way overpriced. I don't even think with all of the type of equipment, in a sense, that's going into it, this upscale 3D printing. I get it. It's going to cost a lot of money, but I don't know if it's worth an $80 price point. I don't want to speculate on a mass production level what it takes and what goes into that, because I wouldn't know. But I would think if you're doing a home job, if you could do it yourself somehow, I think you're probably making a head for easily under $20. So yeah, Drew G says if it is the table to change other figures, there is no point. Correct. So yes, so you can get your head on Stormtrooper, X-wing fighter, what is that? Princess Leia Hoth, if you feel like it. Let's see here. Or you can get it on a set of Power Rangers. Again, if you're just tuning in, for me, it's a big no. Red Room says exactly, Drew, to Drew's comment. And we have Dark Six Soldier. I wanted Serpentor and the Vintage Collector 4-pack. Yep, we're going to get to that, sir. We will be there soon. I'm going to try and go through this pretty quick, and then we can, anybody in the comments or whatever, you want to go back and we can touch base on something, or you can bring up a character and I can try and find it real quick, or an action figure that I missed, and then we'll try to touch base on it if you really want to get into it. But I've got about, I think, 45 to 50 slides, so I don't want to take too long on it, but I know it's going to take us a good minute to get through all this. Again, here you go. You get yourself on GI. I guess that's a GI. Is it some GI Joe figure maybe, or no? Maybe that's Marvel. Maybe that's like Black Widow or something. Then you get an Iron Man or Spider-Man over here, and then moving into some of the Marvel stuff. Now, everybody knows I'm not a really big Marvel guy. I've actually got a Marvel video coming out here probably sometime next week. It might be the week after. I've got a busy week coming up, so I'll try to get it out. But Marvel, there was some Marvel releases, and let me know. What do y'all think? Is this a yes or is this a no? Red Room says only available on specific figs. They say not compatible with the others. Yes, I've heard that as well, sir. I've heard that as well. It's probably going to be like my opinion to it is they're probably, whatever those select figures are with that type of, ball joint head mechanism, it's going to have to fit that diameter. And obviously some of these bigger figures or overly large figures will definitely not be able to partake in you being able to customize your action figures. Serpentor is all sold out, isn't it? Yes, it is. That was one of the first action figures that I know once it went, once it was shown and then it went live, I believe it was a lot of that stuff dropped at certain times. And I think he was 6 p.m. Don't quote me. I don't remember. He was sold out within under 4 minutes. So this is a no for me. Again, I'm not a big Marvel guy, but I was impressed by this Wolverine because it kind of goes back to the cartoon comics of what he looked like. And I know a lot of the small print at the bottom when these were shown were, hey, uh, these may be, you know, the color scheme, it might be off a little bit. They might not match 100%. Now, if we get a Wolverine that looks this way, I'd I'd be kind of you know, open to maybe getting him. Again, like I said, I'm not a big Marvel guy, but I'd be open to possibly getting him at some point because Wolverine is probably, I don't want to say one of my favorites because obviously I like Superman and you know, things like, or correction, Spider-Man. I like Spider-Man. I do like Superman. I do like Batman, but in the Marvel line, you know, X-Men and stuff like that, I'm not, you know, I'm okay with this Wolverine. I think he looks pretty cool. But as for right now, none of this really was pre-order for me, so he's cool. I'll give him credit. I like him, but he'll probably be a pass. He'll probably be a no for me. Red Room says, just think of how many they could have sold at retail. Serpentor could have been a big sellout. Oh yeah, and you know, I don't want to. I don't want to say it too early because you know they're saying it's, you know, it's the deluxe figure or whatever. I don't want to say that he couldn't potentially ever come, but if he did come, it'd probably be a whole. It'd be like a two separate type deal. I don't even know if they would do that. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong there. Maybe it'd be one, he's on his own card, then you'd have to buy the sled and all that separate. But again, maybe that could happen. Maybe it won't happen. Maybe it most likely won't happen. It'll just, you know, be one of those exclusives. Drew G says, I'm a team guy. This is great. I wanted this costume. Yeah. I mean, it's cool. It's cool. Like I said, there's no doubt to it. Just hate that they rarely finish the team. Yes. Yeah. And that's, again, me not being a Marvel guy, just going off of what you guys in the community talk about, what's said. You know, it's like Hasbro gives you a little bit of, you know, a little bit of finesse, a little bit of candy there. They tease you with it. They dangle the carrot, and then they pull back and you don't get the rest of it. So I don't know. We'll see what happens there. But he's cool. I'll give it credit. He's definitely cool. And I know that's quick for Marvel. I know there was tons of other action figures to really go over, but if I would have put everyone up there, everybody knows, heck, this stream would have gone probably just as long as as a friggin' as the Hasbro, you know, PulseCon, you know, live stream. So I had to really narrow it down. I really had to kind of sit here and think about which ones were probably in my opinion, that are the biggest amongst the market and what fans like. I know fans like a lot of the other ones. I get that. But for me, I wanted to narrow it down pretty quick. Red Room says, is the classic X-Men costume? Is this the classic X-Men comic costume? I'm not a professional. I'm not a pro on it. I don't know. I believe it is. It appears to be that way. We can actually go back to it real quick. I believe that is what was in the comic book. So, anybody chime in? Drew G, do you know offhand? Moving forward, Power Rangers. I'm not a Power Ranger person, but I wanted to touch base on this. Now, I do have a few more slides of the Power Rangers. Is this a hit or a miss? Is this a yes or a no? Is this a thumbs up? Is this a thumbs down? For me, I'm not a Power Rangers guy, but I wanted to, you know, at least give anybody that watches this with us right now or after the fact, give you some Power Rangers to look at. For me, all the Power Ranger stuff was a big no. And yep. Very blah character. Just blah. Is that a putty? Is that an updated putty or something? I don't know. Power Rangers really not my thing, so not impressed with this one. I agree. It's a variation, but early 90s pre the famous Jim Lee costume. Okay. And cool. Thanks, Drew. Yep. So moving on, Green Power Ranger side-by-side comparison with helmet on, helmet off, or I don't know. Is that a different head that you have to? No, I guess it is a helmet. It's a helmet that goes over the head, I would assume. If not, then what is it? It's a loose helmet and two different heads, and then a solid head that pops on. I didn't, like I said, I didn't catch a lot of all the video. I kind of jumped through it and tried to get as much of the highlights as I thought, but I don't know. There's the Yellow Ranger female. I mean, I'm gonna sound stupid here when I say this. Don't even know the names. Don't really care, but wanted to throw it up there. I know. I'm sure there are diehard Ranger fans that will be, yep, I'm all over it. I'm buying it all day long. And then we move into the Dungeons and Dragons. What was it? Was it released? Was it earlier this week or was it last week? We got notification on it, and then we see we see some of the card work, and I have some of that here, a couple slides down. So for me, D&D, I wasn't a big D&D kid. I never did the role-playing stuff. I did, though, watch the cartoon, not religiously, but I did watch it. I do remember catching it as a kid. And, you know, I like this type of period. I do like this, I like this period, but it's not really my thing. Now, I think the figures are actually pretty cool. I do think they're pretty cool. I'm on the fence, though, if I'll get them. If they do come to retail, I don't know. I'm on the fence. I don't know if I would just throw it in the collection and kind of like the oddity type stuff off to the side. It's just paying homage to the 80s type stuff. I don't know. But I think they're definitely cool. They're definitely cool. And then here we go. Hank here. We got a side-by-side comparing him holding his bow, and then we get the package. Now, this kind of troubled me when I saw the packaging, right? And I know I'm not going to go over, but we know Hasbro's going this windowless stuff. And I look at it and I go, you know what? This had, like, you started out so great with the design and the graphic and the drawing and the creativity to it. And then, like, boom, you just drop it and you don't give us a window. And it just, to me, looks so, I'm going to call it right here. It just looks so stupid. It looks stupid not being windowless. Sorry, I didn't mean to hit the mic there with my hand. I don't know. What do y'all think? Let me know. I don't know. Same. Remember the cartoon, but not a big D&D guy. Never played it. Yeah. Kind of a like a 50-50 miss. They were on the right track, and then they just kind of dropped it, But I get it. It's going to appeal to the collectors. Drew G says, I already ordered these. Right on. That's cool. Like I said, man, I don't want to say it's a thumbs down or a no for me. I just, package wise, and you all know how I am. I like my stuff in package kind of for the most part. I don't know. I just think they missed it, man. This just looks like a big eyesore on the front of the package. So, oh hell, no blister. What's the point of this again? Exactly. And then we get Diana here. Now, again, I think the figures look awesome. They look great. Figures look great. Card work looks great. And then you get to the big giant eyesore right there. I didn't catch though. These aren't 6-inch, right? or are these like 6-inch? Because I'm thinking if that's a 6-inch card, that's going to be a huge card. Or are these 3 3/4? Because when I'm looking at the articulation, they can't be 3 3/4. Then they got to be what? At least 5'5", 5'5" to 6. So Juji says, "Oh yeah, the package sucks." Yeah, cool. I'm not gonna lie, man. The looks really cool though. They did a good job. The sculpt looks pretty good, spot on. Oh, I'm sorry. I got a couple here out of line. I didn't realize that. These should have been back. Cyclops should have been back there with the Marvel stuff. Pretty cool. Another like comic book type thing. I think they probably could have got away with this as a 2-pack, maybe with Wolverine. Kind of throw them in there because since they're kind of running with that same color scheme. So Red Room says, especially on the card. Why? Exactly. Going back to the Dungeons and Dragons figures. And Red Room says 3.75. I think if they're 3.75, that's some pretty nice articulation and actually good sculpt, like the proportion size, right? I'll click back here real quick and we'll go to your comment. Looking at her knees there, looking at her elbows. We know you now. Granted, it's the way they're posing her, but if we put her in a straight position, how does she stand? Is she going to look kind of flobby like, or kind of are her legs proportionate? I mean, who knows? We don't really know. We're seeing more of an action pose here on her. So, but again, if it is 3.75 and how they incorporated that into it, I think that looks better. A better design sculpt, if you will, than let's say like the Star Wars 3.75 vintage collection. I don't like a way a lot of those look. They don't look proportioned right. So if this is 3.75, that's pretty cool. Redrum says he looks great. We'll be moving forward there. No, they are 6-inch scale. Oh, okay. So there we go. Drew confirmed it for us. They're 6-inch scale. So that's probably why they look so much better. All right, moving on. We get into this Daredevil pack here, Elektra, and was that Bullseye? I did the back on this because I didn't really like what they gave us as images, so I figured I'll just do them all together. We'll just put them all together and give them a shot there. Again, not a big Legends guy, so for me, I'm not going to do it. It'd be a no for me. I'm just looking at the punch out for the peg for size comparisons. Yeah, I know what you mean, seeing if it would be like a 3, but if that's going to be a 6, man, 6-inch. If those go to retail, I know they're pre-order and all that now, but if they go to retail, that's going to be a pretty huge card, right? Because you figure 6-inch, and then that card, that's unless it's a real narrow card. That's the only thing I can think of. Moving into Transformers. I didn't go too much on Transformers. I think this is my only slide. I just took the best one I was looking at. Don't know his name off the top of my head, so I stand corrected. But he looks cool. I see classic 80s there. He's a lot shinier and all that, a little updated. But, I mean, this out of the pictures that I looked at and transformation-wise, this really screamed 80s like to me. Brought me back to that as a kid. And I didn't have a lot of Transformers, like I've said before. So this image here, for what I looked through the Transformers, this one really stood out. So I thought he was pretty cool. Depending on the price, if we see him in retail, he might be a Transformer that I pick up. So Payne's Toy Sample says, think I'll wait till Pulse sale in July. Yeah, could always do that. And moving forward, I know that was a fast day one run through. Day two, I have more slides on. So here, man, again, what I stated earlier at the beginning of the stream, how it was overly energetic, overly, hyped. And we get to day 2 and we get to the Hasbro GIJOE team and their host reveal board. And I'm going to touch on something because I think it's just we're being too politically correct. We're in this day and age, and why we got to bring sex, race, creed, color, all of that crap. Why do we have to bring it into a toy line? We know there's different ethnicities of figures. We know there's potential different sexualities of figures. We know there's all these differences in figurines. But when I buy figurines, I don't go out and assume, oh, do you identify as he, she, him, they, her, it, whatever. I know when I look at it, that's a female. I don't need to go, oh, I wonder if, Scarlet, or Baroness identifies as she or him. And when the panel introduced themselves, I identify as him. I identify as she. I'm like, what the hell are you guys doing? Why does this even matter? It just irritated the shit out of me. But I mean, who gives a crap? I guess at this point, maybe I'm just being overly picky. But one thing out of all of that, I could set that aside and move on. Whoever this chick is here, this blonde chick, this lady, I don't know what it is, man. But women that wear these freaking sleeves like down over their hands, and I've seen them where they put the thumbs through them. I don't know. That just drives me nuts. It's a pet peeve of mine. Put that shit up around your wrists. So, anyways, I got off there. I got on a rant. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Love the display here of the Joe vehicles and the figures and all that. I thought that was pretty cool. I'll give them that, but I really had to mute them. I got tired of listening to them, especially this female here. And I know I could have wrote their names down to tell you all. You got a lot of you guys already know, and then this guy here with the beard up front, Mr. Smiley, all he did was just smile. It's like, Jesus Christ, can you not, just be normal, right? Be yourselves. Don't sell the hype. But I get it. You work for the company, you have to. But when you overly do it and it's overly cheeseball, we could see through this. So, anyways, let's kind of go back here in comments. Red Room says, good plan, Payne. Drew says, Power Rangers in space, not a Transformer. Oh, is that what it is? My bad. I thought it was a Transformer. Red Room's laughing. Drew goes, late 90s, he will be around 170 bucks. Well, if that's the price point, I'm out. It's their spaceship that turns into a Megazord. Okay, that's cool. Don't you know nothing else matters in today's world, Neal? That's right. That's all that matters. If we can sell that type of information or propaganda and constantly shove it down our throats, that's all we care about, right? It's just constant. Let's brainwash that way. All right, moving forward. Oh, sorry, I hit the wrong button. All right, let's get into some Joes. Now, I didn't. I think I went as far as I could with. No, I didn't. I left out a couple of the Joes. I didn't do Falcon, so don't hate me, guys, for leaving out Falcon and all that. But I kind of wanted to hit on the kind of the big ones, if you will. So, what do you think? Is this are we buying this? Yay or nay? For me, I'm on the fence. I'm liking what they're doing now. I think the G.I. Joe Hasbro team is listening. I'm liking what we're seeing. It's cool. I'll give them credit. It's looking pretty cool. Price point wise, these are what, $24.99. What are we getting? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 accessories at 24. We're still not there with like Valiverse. That's giving us like, double that. And it's only, $6 more or something, or maybe he's tripling it in accessories. It just depends on the figure and all that. So cool. But I don't know. I still don't know. I probably will pass on this. One thing that I'm having an issue with when it comes to these some of the GI Joe design figures is I get why, I get how they're doing that that bendability on that square portion in the abdomen. But when you do it on lighter colors, the black outline line, and I get it, you have to have space for this thing to move. It just looks like my eyes go there. My eyes don't go to the head. My eyes go to the abdomen. And for me, that's a big eyesore. GI Joes are cool. Would like to get some of them. They are bog. I mean, they're definitely cool. But my recommendation, just a recommendation, sir. You buy what you want, what's your fancy, what you like. I buy for myself only things that I have the attachment to that takes me back to the 80s when I was a kid, or 90s, however old you are, stuff like that. Whenever you stopped playing with these or you started collecting more of them or whatever, like I guess I'm kind of going after more of the classic stuff. So, Drew G says, yeah, I want all the original 13 Joes, so I'll get them. Right on. Right on. I think if they did these in the old O-ring style, I'd be more inclined to buy them. In a 6-inch scale, I don't think they would last up very long in a O-ring Red Room, if that's what you're inquiring about. I think they would be too wobbly, even if you had a tight O-ring on a 6-inch. It would look cool. I'm not going to say if they had that vintage classic look, but they did them in a 3.75 here a while back. They released the first one was like Roblox, who was it? Cobra Commander, Baroness, stuff like that. But in a 6-inch, I don't know if maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you're saying redoing these again in a 3.75, not in a 6-inch. So I don't think they could get away with it in a 6-inch. True Neal. Moving forward. Okay, Bazooka. So I didn't have him as a kid in the 3 3/4. I don't even know if my good buddy that had a lot more Joes than me, if he had him. I can't remember. He's cool. I mean, I'll give credit. He's pretty cool. He definitely looks like he does a lot of leg day at the gym, and he looks like he's kind of got semi Popeye arms. I mean, I guess he's okay. He's sculpted pretty good. He looks close to the classic. If he ends up becoming like, and I can see him, I hate to say this, I can kind of see him being a peg warmer. I don't know why. I kind of see it. So if he is, I'll probably wait for him to go to clearance, and then I would pick him up. I mean, he's not a must-have. I mean, yeah, he's vintage. I do remember him from the cartoon. I do remember him from the 80s, but he's not like a must for me. I would have rather seen maybe another figure, but it's okay. It's all good. He looks pretty cool. Red Room says, yeah. I hope they do Scarlet right. Yes. Oh God, I hope they do Scarlet right when we get to that at some point. And then we get into the Cobra. I can't remember what his name is, so I stand corrected. I would have rather seen the other. What is it? The other Cobra Viper, or what is it? The all black, the seal. I would have rather seen that, or the eel. My bad. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. The Cobra eel. I would have rather seen that one come first. But I think this is like a precursor to saying, hey, look at our water line, right? Here's our water figures. So we're going to give you this first, and we're not going to give you everything right out the chute right away. We're going to give you this guy first. So I'm hoping when that eel comes down, Army Builder, just as much as he's Army Builder, but think about it, that eel, those eels will be sick. And I hope Hasbro gives it to us. I hope the GI Joe team is listening to the fans and going, we're going to do it. You guys are going to get it. We're going to release it to you. So, and let's see here. Yeah, he's cool, man. I've always been partial to underwater figures. I love the underwater figures. One of the favorite memories that I had as a kid was, you know, if you had an underwater figure, if it was from the GI Joe line, if it was from the adventure Fisher Price Adventure people, anything that had to do with water, you know, taking it into water, playing in the pool with it, whatever, you know, it was just so much fun. So this is definitely a win. This is a definite yes and a definite thumbs up for me. I will be getting this. And another one, another water figure. Now, I've seen in some of the chat rooms, I've seen some discussion. Why are they releasing the water moccasin Cobra driver and not the vehicle when they could have done that as a Hasbro Pulse, or correction, Hasbro Pulse, a HasLab project? And you know how I've talked a lot of shit about HasLab, and so has a lot of other people in the toy community. And, you know, if this would have been done right, and I hope Hasbro doesn't come back and go, oh, by the way, one of our HasLab features, or one of our HasLab releases that we're going to do and projects is we're going to do the you know, the moccasin now with the driver again. If they do that, I probably won't get it. I probably won't back it. I think they should have come out of the chute from the get-go and done this as a HasLab project. Now, yeah, I don't think that moccasin would have been that much bigger than the Hiss, okay? I think it would have been a lot easier to do than the Hiss, but I think they probably didn't want to do it, or they're not going to do it, is because of the accessories to it, because it has its guns, but if you think about it, you can't really overly accessorize it, because the fans, the collectors, are going to look back on it and go, well, that's not how it was in the cartoon, or that's not how it showed up on the box when we got it as a kid. And they're going to hold them really to it, to whereas the Hiss, they had more options to build on it because we saw that. And so that's probably why they didn't do it as a HasLab project. If they would have done it though out of the chute, I probably would have backed it. If they come back and do it now after you've released the driver, I don't think I would do it. The only way I would do it is if the vehicle was spot on, 100% accurate, and I know we're not going to get that, so I don't know. I definitely though think we will see some guys in the industry doing some kick-ass aftermarket 3D printing of the moccasin. I can almost guarantee it. I'd put money on it. Guys are already working on it right now. But the figure, I'll probably buy it. This is a yes for me. This is a thumbs up. I will definitely get this. I know it doesn't have very many accessories. I don't care, but I have a strong attachment to this figure, because when I was a kid, when I got that, again, I think it was like around my 7th or 8th birthday, I played the shit out of this toy. Played it to the point where I cracked that vehicle from playing it, running it over surfaces, and got that plastic so thin that I ran a crack through it from just wear and play. One of my favorite Cobra bad guys. Love this figure. That dark green and then a little bit of the light neon green on top. Yeah, really cool. So let me know. What do you think? Is this a yes for anybody else in here? I hope that, oh, sorry. It's a good vehicle, but not as popular as the Hiss. Yeah, the Hiss is iconic, no doubt. But tell me, Bog, that this wasn't a badass character in a badass vehicle, the moccasin and the driver. Then we get into Shipwreck. Now, Shipwreck has gotten a lot of hate on certain channels, or there's certain individuals that I don't care for them, and that's fine. That's cool, right? I get it. Everybody, and to each their own, right? Everybody's entitled to what they like. But he's also been discussed a lot in the community. I've seen very good things about him, heard very good things about him, and I've heard very negative things about him. And Shipwreck for me and Paulie, I remember when he came into the cartoons, and he's the comic relief, the wise ass, joke, cracker, mischief, constantly looking to screw off and get out of doing work, and we all know his background. So, but for me, I always liked Shipwreck. I always thought Shipwreck was kind of a cool figure. The one thing that I hated, though, I remember in the 3 3/4 inch line was the gun, right? The gun here, when you hung it on that little plastic clip, if you didn't break it off, that damn thing would always fall off. And that was one thing that always, drove me nuts. But as far as the figure, I always liked Shipwreck. I didn't have anything against him. So I like this. This is a yes for me as well. This is a thumbs up. I will be getting this. I don't understand the 2 different hair variations. I don't think they needed to do this. They really didn't need to do this. They could have just stuck with what he's got. I get it. I've heard some military folks. Tony touched on it. It was a good point. It's not a regulation cut. He would have never looked like this. And Tony, and when I say Tony from Untitled Toys and also a host of 3POA, he said they wouldn't have had shabby hair and a beard like this. Absolutely correct. But it's Shipwreck, and it's G.I. Joe. There was a lot of different variations, like Bazooka. You wouldn't have guys in standard military running around with, red shirts on. So this doesn't bother me too much on the head. I think the head sculpt's done. I'm going to stay with the short hair, the long hair. I'll toss that into a container or a divider, a drawer divider, and I'll probably never use it again. So, but this is definitely a yes for me. It was definitely, Red Room says. And Drew G says, Shipwreck shouldn't look like this now. On a retro card, yes, but he needs a modern look in the main line. Well, okay, Drew, so tell me, how do you see him then being modernized? Because if you look at Navy servicemen, right, and I don't mean in their Class A's or their Class B's. I mean in their work uniform. This is a work uniform on the ship. If they were painting, if whatever they were doing, any type of mechanics, maintenance, this isn't anything. This is not like a Class A, a dress parade type uniform. So this would be a work outfit. And I believe this is the standard outfit that they still use today. I could be wrong. Maybe they're not. Maybe they're dressed in something else. And I assume this Shipwreck character is supposed to be a Shipwreck character that we should associate somewhere between the 60s, 70s, and 80s. So modernizing it, I don't know. Let me know how you would do it. Because this is how to me, this stands out as classic Shipwreck or close to it. And I think that's what the fans want, right? The collectors want. If you're going to do Joe's, we don't want a twist on it. We want you to do a 6-inch line of the 3.75 figures that we really liked as a kid. At least that's how I perceive it and how I want it. But yeah, let me know what you think. Is it me, or is his shirt the wrong color? I mean, I'm sure it could be. The shirt could be off and color, but I think they're trying to go for a close look, or get it close to it. It could be a little too light. That's not like, for me, that's not a deciding factor of no, I won't get it. I get what they're trying to display here. This is a Navy seaman, figure. He was in the Navy, I get that. And now he's with the elite Joe team. So could be off. All right, moving on. And then we got our little sneak peek and these are the prototypes, so these are not the finished products. We got our prototype of Cobra Commander and the female driver. Why they gave us the female driver, I don't know. Balance male versus female again. Make it fair. You know, women have just as much rights to be in there. I'm not dogging women here. Any ladies watching, I'm not dogging you. But if you're going to give us the female version of the driver or assistant on the HISS vehicle, why not throw the male driver up there? And I'm not trying to say I'm sounding pro male. I just, you know, if you're going to give us the prototypes in early release, give us the prototypes. Let's see them all. Let's see them all. Digging the Cobra though. I'm digging the Cobra, even with the Mickey Mouse head Cobra insignia there on the chest. I know I'm going to have to pick this up from someone that doesn't want this. They don't care about it, and they just want the tank, and I'll get it. I know it'll be loose. It'll probably be loose. I would like to get him. As far as the other characters, I probably won't get them because I don't have the HISS, and I look at it as I have no use for it. Going back to probably Shipwreck here, Drew answering that comment or my statement, and he's probably giving me his answer on it. I wasn't sure if they use the same headgear, but he is best. He's best of the best to be a Joe. Also, I do want the retro version. Just don't want them both. Don't want them to both look the same. No, I can see that. I mean, Hasbro's going to probably, obviously, we all know this. They're going to try. They're going to probably appeal more to us, right? Us guys that are in our 40s, late 30s to mid 40s. And I'll even go out as far as, you know, late 40s, really early 50s. And they're going to try and find a happy medium. So I'm sure they'll wait to see what the reception is from the community once they come out. And then if they feel like they probably got to go back, they'll probably go back and redesign them. But for me, it's a sell. I'll buy it. It's close to what I can remember as Shipwreck, so I probably do. But anyways, what do y'all think about this? What do you think about the prototypes? I'm digging the Cobra. I'm definitely digging Cobra and him holding that little snake wrapped around the world. Digging it. It's cool. Definitely screams 3.75 original Cobra Commander to me. Red Room says thumbs up on it. I agree. He's pretty cool. Moving along. Here he is. Everybody's been waiting for in the Joe line. Mr. Serpentor. Now, I did not get one of these. I did not try to pre-order these. I did not have the time. Let's just say this. I was preoccupied earlier in the week with some big events that were taking place here where I reside here in Austin, Texas. So I was tied up and I wasn't able to be able to hop on and get this at pre-order. Was it yesterday? But holy crap, out of all the Joes that Hasbro released, the Joe team released, in my opinion, this is fire, man. Thumbs up. This is a yes. I'm going to have to buy it on the secondary market, and it's going to be way overpriced. I want to get my hands on Serpentor. This thing is, excuse my French, this thing is fucking badass. I wish they put all this effort in all of their line. I wish they would put this effort in all of their line. I love the box work here. I love what they're doing here. It's like, man, it's this, I have this love-hate for Hasbro right now. And I know y'all think I'm probably this diehard, Mattel guy. I'm pro Mattel. With Mattel and even Hasbro, man, I have this love-hate relationship about them. And I know it's all psychological upstairs. I get it. Like, I want to freaking love this stuff. And then I hate what they're doing politically with the company and how they're getting this crap to the fans and their platforms of how they want to sell stuff. But then they come out and they hit you with this, and it's like, bam, take that, fans. You know you want this. Here's how you can pay for it, And it's like, man, it just drives me nuts because this thing is so badass. This thing looks sick. that belt around Serpentor, his cowl on his head, the man, this, and it's weird, right? And I'll kind of go back to you, Drew, when you said you wanted something updated and modernized. This doesn't scream 100% vintage GI Joe to me. This is modern Serpentor, and I like it. So I can see where your style or your feeling of I want a Shipwreck, but I want a modernized. I can see why you want that, because you see that in the character. You see that you want something more modernized, and I can see that here in Serpentor. Yes, he has that classic look, but he's modernized, especially with the sled. That thing's badass, man. This thing is sick. This is definitely a yes. If I can get my hands on one of these, I'm picking it up for sure. Red Room says, I'm okay with them both. And talking about Cobra Commander and the driver, he's definitely badass. Yes, he is. This is Serpentor, man. Freaking badass. And Juji says, I love this. It's Cobra. Hell yeah, man. It's Cobra all day long. So cool. Look at that look at the drawing there as Serpentor's coming out. It's like I can hear him screaming and getting everybody to charge, along. Cobra. Just looks so freaking cool. Hopefully I can get one of these. Hopefully y'all could get one too. Hopefully, I'm sure you probably are. Did you already order it, Drew? Did you already get this guy pre-ordered? Let's get into some of what he looks like here. These are just clips I tried to get as close as I could off of Hasbro's site, and the way they have their pictures pop up and how I was trying to screenshot them and get them, it's kind of tricky. I didn't get the best of them, but tried to do the best that I can. And I know over here I cut off some of the accessories of Serpentor, but I love how they did the head cowl, the back off to the side. It's not the traditional kind of more up. It's kind of laying back. It's like a collar, the snake head. Oh man, that was cool. That's a cool touch, right? Because I was wondering, are they going to come right out and give us like the old original, GI Joe style? And then I saw this picture and I was like, oh shit, look at that. Okay, hell yeah, you got me, man. He looks cool. Not gonna lie, he looks freaking badass. So let's see what Drew said here. Whoop. Drew says, oh yeah. So you got him. You got him on pre-order, huh? Right on, man. That's cool. Yeah, man. He looks so freaking cool. So cool. I hope I can get one. That's all I can say. I hope I can get one at some point. And what's he gonna go? He's going for what? 80 bucks? He's $80. I'll drop that. I'll drop that. But I know I won't get him it won't be aftermarket price because he's already doubled. I heard he's already like 180 or 170 on eBay. Guys are already going for. So again, I don't think he'll go to retail. If he did, that'd be awesome, but as a single, you probably won't get the sled. That'll be the hard part. You want to get the sled. I don't know, but he's definitely really, really cool. Very cool. Red Room says, my concern is the plastic used. How is the shelf life of these figures? Will the legs warp over time? How will the paint apps hold out? Much more bendier plastic used compared to vintage figures. So let me bring down a Cobra. Let me bring down a Cobra soldier here, right? So I'll tell you right now, and Drew, maybe you know better than I do. I don't know what type of plastics they use. It's definitely not. This is not like 3D quality printed type plastics. Red Room by any means. Nothing like that. They're comparable to like Action Force, Valaverse's stuff. They're a little bit lighter, I want to say. Some of them, depending on how they got put into their plastic packaging, for shipment and all that. Sometimes they come a little warped, but the great thing is you can get these back into shape by either putting them in warm water for a few seconds, and then kind of kind of holding it, get it back to where you need it, hold it, and let it kind of dry down. Does that weaken the plastic over time? I'm not a plastic scientist or deal with solids like that, so I don't know. Or you can use a heat gun, or you can use umbrella or hair dryer and warp them back into, I shouldn't say warp, mold them back into place. They're designed, they're done really well. I mean, there's no doubt. Longevity wise on them, I don't know. They've only been out a few years. I try to keep my stuff out of direct sunlight anyways to not weaken any of the plastics, but we know plastic has to breathe, right? And they put a material in the plastic. It's a chemical that we know that it preserves them. And this is why when you put a figure inside of a bubble pack and it's sealed, if, like, for instance, my He-Man here, if I don't touch these, right, or I don't touch these for the next 30 years or 40 years, pulling these out, and whoever gets them and pulls them out, realistically, they're going to be sticky, right? It's going to get that old stickiness that we get to them, or where they hit, the air gets to them, and then they start not breaking down. It's whatever that preservative is in plastic. It brings out that stickiness in them. Sometimes you get this with your old toys if you've had them in totes or boxes, and they go from extreme heats and from heat to cold and stuff like that. Or you're putting them in plastic bags, Ziploc bags, and they sit in there for 5-10 years, and then you open them back up one day and you're like, oh, wow, they're tacky. So I don't know if these will do this. I'm assuming they would over time. Once you close them off to having any more air, being able to touch them, they would start to break down. But I could be wrong. Maybe they won't do it. But for now, they're not doing that in any way. And the plastics they hold up really well. I don't think you can go wrong, right? You can't go wrong on them. So if that, I would not steer you the wrong way, sir. I believe that these will hold up over time, and they will be a lot better in the way they hold up versus the stuff that we got as we were kids, for sure. Hands down. I think these will. Now, Storm Shadow and things like that, obviously he will probably yellow over time if he's exposed to extreme heats and lights or odor, smoke. If you're a smoker and you smoke in your house, yes, he's gonna yellow or brown. But yeah, for the most part, these guys are built pretty solid. So, and the paint schemes on them, Hasbro, for the most part, as they've gotten better in these latest waves of figures, their paint schemes are getting a hell of a lot better. So he is definitely really cool. So I can only imagine the quality that they're going to put into Serpentor. He's going to be up there, and it's a cloth cape, which is even better. It'll fray over time if it gets not stored properly or it gets overly played with, unlike plastic where it would mold and bend the wrong way. Yeah, but you shouldn't have to do that at 30 or 40 bucks a figure. You have to heat to get back into shape. That's a weak effort. I can see your point on that, because when I started getting 6-inch figures like that, or any figure with articulation, I think you take the chance. Once you start getting into articulated figures, there's more moving parts, right? More moving parts, so there's more likelihood of parts getting twisted or bent because they can articulate so much, or they don't, they move a certain way, and then after time, like anything, if you hold it in that position, after time it's going to take that form. Whereas what we're used to as kids, when we first had Star Wars 3 3/4 inch, what do? They're solid, they're stiff, there's hardly any articulation there. There are 3 points of articulation. So they didn't bend. If anything bent on it, it might have been the vinyl capes or the lightsabers, things like that. The figure itself never really got warped unless it had major pressure being applied to it, like in a toy box with multiple toys on top of it or something. I just think that is a give and take. It's a sacrifice that you have to make as a toy collector. If you're going to collect in more detailed scale like that, there's a likelihood that your figures will come slightly bent from time to time, or they might be. But the great thing is, good collectors, fans educate us in the community and go, this is how you can fix it. Bobby with Valaverse, he throws in a flyer with, or at least he was, I know he did in series 1, he was putting in a flyer with suggestion like, hey, listen, if this happens to your figure, you can put them in, hot water for, whatever it is, 30 seconds, bring them out. You can kind of loosen up their joints, or bend them back into shape, however you have. He's the only toy manufacturer, private manufacturer, I guess, or designer, I should say, that I know personally that does that. So at least he's trying to educate and help you like, hey, listen, I know my stuff's not going to always come possibly 100% perfect, but if you have any issues with it, I'm going to refund it, or I'm going to help you out with getting it fixed. But here's a little bit of knowledge. This is how you can possibly fix your own figure if you need to. But anyways, sorry, I didn't mean to get off on that tangent like that, but hopefully maybe that answers your question, Bog, or kind of helps you out. But I understand your point on it. I can see if you're spending 30, 40 bucks, you want it almost perfect. So I agree with you, but I think it's just a sacrifice we have to kind of make as a collector when you get into a more detailed action figure. Now, I can almost guarantee you these will probably be better packaged, these Serpentor and everything like this, because this is a deluxe figure. They're probably going to have more pieces in place to keeping this very still in package, so you don't have that warping, if you will. I'm not saying they shouldn't put that same effort into their singular figures. They should, but again, mass production, bubble pack, or a bubble pack insert, I should say, and getting in there. It's real fast. The factories are just popping them in real quick, sticking everything in there real fast. So not everything's going to always get in perfectly. And Drew says you got to realize these figures are newly made and newly painted in one environment, and as it travels, they get heated and cooled multiple times. Exactly, as what I was touching on it. Even after original shipment, you putting it away, if you decide to later on, and you stick it in the garage, or you stick it in the attic, or you stick it in a closet, or you bring it back out, the different temperature variations, everything has an effect on them. Sometimes the joints can stick. Heating them is the safe bet to keep from breaking. Exactly. I think if we leave them in the stuck position too long, and as time goes on, and we know plastics do weaken and potentially break down, I think if you leave it in a stuck position, or you never pose it, right? You never pull it out of package, but, which, I'm potentially taking that chance with my MOTU collection, right? Leaving them on card. So, you take a chance of those joints popping or breaking over time. And Red Room says, true, Drew. So moving on from Serpentor, he's definitely a yes. I know Drew, you said you got him. I'll get him. If I can get one, I'll get one. Hopefully I don't have to pay that outrageous price, but I'm afraid I'm going to have to. And then we had that little clip with Sergeant Slaughter. I have nothing against this man. I think Sergeant Slaughter and the way he markets himself and how he runs himself as a business is excellent. I know a lot of people don't like that, they don't like the Hasbro variation of this Sergeant Slaughter. And, Valaverse gave us, a couple different variations. You know what? And I've got one of the Valaverses. And when I put them side by side, me personally, I think the Valaverse figure is proportioned better and he looks better. Sergeant Slaughter, he don't give a shit. He don't give two rats ass. Like, again, he licenses his image to whoever wants it. If they come to him with the right dollar, he's gonna do what he needs to do to make money, and it's a business for him at the end of the day. He don't give two shits how GI Joe makes him, but if you're gonna license him from me, you better get him as close as you can to me. I'm sure he has a little bit of creativity input in it, I would think, but for me, it's a pass. I'm happy with my Valaverse ones. I'll keep them. I think they look better. But I mean, hey, more power to it. We know this is where Sergeant Slaughter started, right? He was in wrestling, and he was put in the Joe cartoons and the comics and the toys when we were kids. So it's a no-brainer for Hasbro to make this character. And yes, be competitive with Valaverse. But me personally, I think the Valaverse figure looks way better. And then we get into what I have been waiting for, and I'm sure a lot of you have been waiting for a long, 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 long time. The Indiana Jones line. Now, I know you're all going, why are you starting with this artifact here? The light transmitter thing, when Indy's holding it and it pops to the sun. I can't remember the name off the top of my. I wanted to start with it because I wanted to get it out of the way, because I want to dive deep into the figures that we're getting. And we know we're getting those figures, guys. We know we're getting them again. And I don't want to say it yet, but I'm going to get to it. But anyways, I wanted to get this out of the way. I think it's stupid. I don't think they should have come out with this. I think they could. I would have rather you given me an idol, a bigger idol. People are like, oh, it would have been too heavy. It's too expensive. Nah, you could have done it hollow. It's for shelf display purposes. I would have been okay with it. I don't need it, actual weight size. To me, this is a miss. This is a no. This is a thumbs down. Not for me. And I think this is the only picture that I snapped, because I really didn't want to show how the thing really, it pops in these pegs and you get a couple little extra accessories. It's got a high dollar price point, 80 or above. I can't remember. Maybe it's more. I can't remember. It's a miss for me. Now, if you're a relic kind of person and you like that kind of stuff, this is right up your alley. Go for it. But for me, nah. Nope, not for me. I think it's stupid. Sorry, guys, if you disagree with me. But let's talk about it. Let's move on. Vintage original 3.75 Indiana Jones. On card with Kenner, with showing action, posing action with Indy pulling the pistol out. Beautiful design and picture of Harrison Ford as Indiana Jones with his arm up in the air, looking all Mr. Badass chill, with the original Indiana Jones logo, holding the whip over his head, coming in with Raiders of the Lost Ark. Original action figure. And some of the younger collectors I noticed in the chat rooms yesterday, why does Indy's legs look like that? Why am I seeing those horrible pegs? Why does his crotch look like this? Well, I don't think we're going to get it. And I'm going to tell you why. His legs are designed that way, and the crotch was designed that way because when we were kids, he rode the horse. I believe there was the one of the horses he rode in Raiders of the Lost Ark. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Because the way that sculpted is how he needed to hang. His legs needed to hang, and where his crotch is at, his butt area had to sit on the horse. That's why it was designed that way. What did you say? It'll sell, meaning on that relic. Yeah. Oh yeah. There's fans. They're all about those pieces. They'll buy it. And then Drew G says, okay, Neal, I got to run. I'm getting all these indie figures. I'm the mark, but I have no head. I have to head out, going to the Braves game tonight, and have to head to Atlanta. Have fun. Right on, dude. Safe travels, man. Have fun at the game. Thanks for stopping by and popping on real quick. I appreciate it. And thanks for your comments as always. And safe travels, man. Have fun. And I'm glad you're getting these figures. Same here. I'm getting them all. So Red Room says, I'll disagree with you on this line, Neal. If it's one line that needed an update, it's this line. Oh, I got some stuff for you, man. Hopefully, have you seen the 6-inch, Bog? Have you seen the 6-inch stuff that we're getting? So let me get to it. I know I sound like a fanboy here, man, but this is what I yearn for, man. Seeing that original, that classic stuff, 3.75, man. I'm sold. I just hope we get the rest of the line. I hope we get Sala and Marion. I hope we get, the German guards. Now, I know we're not going to get them, and they're going to have the swastika or anything like that on their sleeve. I get that. I totally understand that. Guys will do customs, but anyways, I dig this, and I'm getting this, and I'm getting it because I like the figure. This is one of the few lines where I do like the figure. Yes, the pins are horrible. The jacket looks a little too short, but that headband screams almost a Star Wars, Bespin Han and, Indiana Jones in that hat. Now, I do think the hat in the package is different than the hat on the head of the figure. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know. Red Room says, see you, Drew, and no. That's okay. That's cool. I'll show them to you here in a second. And yeah, so I'm sold on this. This is a win. This is a yes for me. I'll get this. This is a $15 price point, $14.99. It sucks to say that this is a $15 figure, but it is what it is. We know 3.75, the price point, outside of something like, now I know someone will go, well, Final Faction, from what you all turned me on to go look at. Well, those are $1.50 figures. Okay, well, we also know the quality that went into those is not the same as this. So more tooling, more licensing, promotion, stuff like that. We're paying for it, and I get it. And if it's narrowed down to that $14.99 price point right now, that's about industry standard for a 3.75. That's the average. I'd say anywhere between $9.99 to $14.99 for 3.75. Not that $17.99 price point that Real Action Toys is putting out of the GI Joes. That's just absurd. That is absurd to pay that and you get nothing other than a figure, and maybe if you're lucky, a weapon. The card, yeah, okay, the card stock's great, but it ain't $17.99's great. So, anyways, moving on. Red Room says $22 in Canada. Okay, yeah, that's kind of high for a 3.75. That's pretty high. If you can find it for $15 down here, Bog, or if you want one, and if they do make a lot of them and they go to store release, and I can see what the shipping is, maybe split the difference. I'll try to get one to you so you're not paying as much. But I think the shipping is what's going to kill us. So you're probably better off just getting it up there at that $22 Canadian price point. So moving forward, let's go. Here we go. The 6-inch. I can finally say it as a fan. This is the closest rendition of getting to Harrison Ford's face. Finally. And it's in a 6-inch. Now, I would have rather seen him really 3D, scan his head and get it spot on. Or use was it the Bespin Star Wars Han head? I think it was, using that head and doing it. I'm sure guys will probably, if it can fit and they can do a custom on it, they'll do it to get it closer. Even get it closer. 6 inches better, definitely. He looks awesome. He does, man. Wait till I get to the packaging, right? Wait till I get to some of the packaging on this. So let's take a minute. Let's just embrace this and soak this in and go, wow, we're finally getting an Indiana Jones figure that is very close to what if not spot on, to movie accuracy, from holster to whip to hat jacket, shirt, and pants. The tooling is beautiful. The sculpting is beautiful. The no pin aspect is outstanding. I'm glad Hasbro did it this way. The boots, spot on as shoes. If they continue to make these 6-inch this way, outside of the first 3 that they released, and we know the other ones, and I'll get to those coming down, because they're going to go far with this line. I have spotty 6-inch figures in the Star Wars Black Series with only the Mandalorian and a couple Boba Fett's and stuff like this. I'm in 100% full ride on this Indiana Jones line. Hands down, 100%. I'll be a full ride on it. As long as they make the representation going forward after these 3 that I'm going to show you, and then there's going to be a couple that'll be coming down the line later, because they can branch into the Temple of Doom, Last Crusade. They might go Kingdom of the Crystal Skulls, and obviously they will do this new indie movie that's coming out, Indy 5, 6, or whatever it is. I'm sure they'll do it. It makes sense to do it. And if it's a good movie, I'll get them. If it's horrible, I don't know. I won't need an indie from it because we got this indie, and this will just be the indie that I need. But anyways, I'm in this line from the get-go. Hasbro, thumbs up. As much as I have this love-hate relationship with you, thumbs up. You guys killed it. You finally, in my opinion, have given justice, one, to the Indiana Jones character and all of the horrible renditions you've ever done of them in the 3 3/4. You have given him justice with the 6-inch. So thank you. Thank you very much. Do not screw this up. Do not screw this up. Let's keep it going. Looks awesome. Here's the packaging. Now, I would have loved to seen it windowless. I really would have loved to seen it windowless. But because you did it on a solid card for your environmental freaking campaign thing that you want to do, which makes no sense, I will give you credit. As much as I have to swallow my pride and eat crow when I say this, the packaging looks really good. I hate to say it, but it looks good. Do this with all of your windowless packaging if you're going to do this, because your Marvel stuff sucks. It looks horrible. I know you said you're not going to touch the Black Series and Star Wars, but this, hands down, looks good. And you get the relics. You get the idol, and then you get the 2 pieces to the arc, and the big building campaign, build a figure type thing for this line, if you will, is you are going to get all these figures. In order to get the arc in 6-inch scale, you have to buy these characters. It's smart. It's marketing. Yeah, it'd be nice to be able to just buy it right out, but I get it. Makes it a little fun. It gives you that. It gives us the hunt, right? We get to go out and hunt them when they come out. If we, look for them or pre-order them or whatever to build that arc. So it's cool. It's cool. Nice box. Looks good. Like the graphics. I'm sold. This is a yes. Red Room says, hey, if they make a Shia LaBeouf figure, take my money. Hey, if he's done right, man. If he's done right and he looks cool and I want to put him into the indie line or in the Indiana Jones line, I'll probably throw him in there. As much as that movie was a flop, I'd probably buy it. Not just because I want to be a completist, just to buy it because I'm paying homage to the movies, if you will. Doesn't mean I like all the movies, just paying homage to it. All right, moving forward. Here we go. Yes. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Now, the only thing that if I have something to complain on him, right here is look at these gap in his legs. I'm not sold on that. I'll get him. He's going in my collection, but I'm like, what the hell is going on with this flotation of crotch over his thighs? What's going on here? Did someone not realize, hey, we should have photoshopped this and made this look solid? I mean, what's going on? I don't know. But holy crap, very cool, very close. I mean, spot on representation of him. And check this out. Ah! We get the melting face. What are we doing here, Hasbro? What are you doing? You're going horror. You're going graphic. What are you doing? But guess what? We like it. We fans love it. We like it. Give us more. Take my money. As much as I hate to say it, take my money. This is awesome. I'm posing him this way when I get him. I'm posing him this way. This is so cool. Heck yeah. Ah, he's looking at the light and his face is melting. It's like, oh shit. Oh shit. So sorry, I'm getting a little nerded out here for it. What'd you say? It says the movie was okay. I didn't mind it. Needs the trench coat. Well, yeah, he's got the trench coat right there. And there you go. Nice. Exactly, man. I'm telling you. They're going to kill. God, if they stay this way, they're going to kill this line. They're going to kill it. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be such a freaking, this is going to look so cool. And guys are already saying, oh, well, what about a play set? Man, I care less about the play set. We know there's aftermarket guys that are going to mix it. Shit, use your own creativity. Build your own play set. But you got the figures. And this is cool. Now, I did see somewhere someone said in one of the, I think it was, it wasn't like a live Hasbro PulseCon thread. That's not where I saw it. Where did I see it at? I can't remember. Maybe it was on Facebook. Maybe it was on Instagram. I don't know. Someone already said, well, it looks like he's fat and overweight. I said, no, it's just the way it's just the camera shot. It's just the way the lighting in the camera shot. He's not bulging at the gut. He was a slim character. This is not cloth goods. This is plastic, but I'm in it. I'm in it. Let's go. Let's go. And then we got Sala. Now, Sala, so the Sala will come out, I guess, later on. Pretty sure this is just prototype right now. For being a prototype, I was like, well, you sold me. Take my money. I'm buying, Sala's coming with the group. He looks good. The head looks great. The sculpt looks great. The rope, though, I don't know if I'm sold on that. That just looks like he's holding a deflated inner tube that's white. So I'm probably, if this is how it comes, I'm doing a custom, or I'll find somebody to do a custom, because I'd rather him hold like a real rope. As far as the shovel, it's a shovel. You can't go wrong with a shovel. Sorry I couldn't got a better image of this, but this is what I could clip, and this just looks, this is Sala. Yeah, he's a little thinner, but he was thinner in Raiders, right? So, but I'm digging it. I'm digging it. It's cool. And then moving forward, yeah. Spot on. Pretty damn close. So this will be coming down the line. He'll be coming down the line. Dr. Jones, you have the idol. So it's pretty cool. Yep. We'll get it. We'll get it. We'll get it. And then moving down, we get Marion. Marion in the red. Spot on. Really looks like her in the face. I see it. Hasbro said this the first time they ever did the 3D sculpt print or the scanning, laser scanning of the monkey, getting down to that fine. I tried to find a close-up image on the monkey. I couldn't get it. It was too grainy. The only thing I have to bitch about this, but I don't care. It's not a deal breaker. At least it kind of blends. That's the line in the leg here. Again, it's kind of like, what's his name? well, I don't get why we're doing this. I don't think we need to do this, but it kind of looks like it flows with the ruffle flapping over the knee and then down to the ankle. And she gets her little frying pan over here. But I'm sold. She'll go into the collection. You just have to pose her around a little bit different, Marion, to make her look, blend in a little bit more. What I'm disappointed is though, they didn't give us any, bad guys. I was kind of other than like soldier bad guys. We didn't get any, the turban guys, nothing like that. I was kind of bummed on that. Kind of bummed. Maybe they're, we'll get those, on the next wave or whatnot. But I'm digging it. I'm digging it. I'll get them. I'll definitely get them. Moving forward now, I think we're going to be going into Star Wars. I'm sorry, I didn't go really far in depth on Star Wars, and the reason that I didn't go that far and stepped on in depth on Star Wars was because I thought they failed. I thought the Star Wars team failed. I'm sorry. I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for making that statement. It just wasn't what I was looking for. I was kind of. I'm not impressed. It was like they went back and did maybe repaints, and I just think it was. Yeah, I think it was a big miss. But let's move forward. Let's go. Let's check it out. Wicket. To me, this is the best one out of it. Now, I have a vintage Wicket up there on the wall and 3 3/4. I'm pretty sure this is him. I could be wrong. I could be doing two wrong side by comparisons here. But to me, Wicket was the best looking thing out of all of what was shown. I'm saying no right now, but it'll probably turn into a yes. So, Wicket looks pretty cool. Red says, did they make the swordsman who got shot by Indy? That would be cool. I'm hoping it comes down the line so you can pose that up and make that scene. That's what I'm saying. That swordsman, we didn't get, they didn't show us anything like that. So kind of left us hanging, you know what I mean? Kind of left us hanging. So in anticipation, but let's hope they finish out the line. They say they're going to. So he better be in there. But anyways, excuse me. Wicket here. He looks cool. That's about it for me. And then moving forward, we get the Mandalorian. What I think they're calling this the death match, or what are they calling it? The rescue set. So when I saw this, and we'll get into the figures here in a minute, when the first thing that came to me was a parody TV show like on Mad TV or Saturday Night Live of, hey kids, are you ready for the new Star Wars Mandalorian rescue set with 3 action figures included with real fire launching system from the Mandalorian's gun. All you have to do is fill butane in the foot and press here and real flames come out. I don't know why that came to my head, but that's what came to my head when I saw this. And it's not this by any means. Anybody that is watching this now or later, that's not what it is. But when I saw it, when they released it, I was like, that's what it reminded me of. I think it is I think this is a huge miss. I think this is a big no for me. I think this was a stupid idea. As much as I love The Mandalorian, I think this was stupid. Cool scene in the movie or in the TV show. Big miss. And definitely not going to be worth the price point. I think this thing's got an over $120 ticket on it. So, which I'm like, where do you get that? If these figures are close to, $25 a piece, you're at $75. How are we at, over $100? But I could be wrong. I could be wrong on the price. I'm sorry. I should have done my research. But anyways, again, like I said earlier in the stream, this was just to kind of hit some of the high points of what is being released and coming to us in retail or pre-order. And here he is. Here's the Death Trooper here. He's on fire. They really like this fire. They're on this fire kick, I guess. We got it with the Ghost Rider in the HasLab project. Now we got this droid on fire, burning up, and, you know, Mando's, you know, shooting fire at him and setting him on fire. It's just, all this is a Mando character that we have right now in 6-inch, and they've just added the accessory to where you probably just went back, drilled 2 little holes in the tooling and said, put these through to production and we'll make up these flames. And yeah, that's what you get. And you get a little bit of a ripped up battle cape. And that's about it. Maybe a little bit of damage, but they really didn't put a lot of effort into this. This I get they put effort into, but just a big miss. Big miss. And then you get Grand Moff. Doesn't even look like Esposito there. I mean, head sculpt's off. I mean, close proximity, but the eyes, it's not him. And then we get into Andor. Andor, the new Disney Plus TV series that's on right now. I said some negative comments about it in the beginning when it started because I said it was boring. I fell asleep through every episode, and I was absolutely telling the truth when I said that. But after watching 3POA's video on it and their take, I said I have to do it justice. I can't be biased like this just off the fact because I fell asleep. So I went back and I rewatched all the first 3 episodes. They are slow. The third one gets a little bit more busier. And I'm like, okay, I get the storyline, but it better start picking up. It really didn't start picking up till the end of the 3rd. And then now the 4th episode is out, and I watched it, and I started dozing off in it again. So I had to go back and rewatch it, and I still got a little more. I still kind of got sleepy. This 4th episode was slow. And I call this episode, I like to call a filler episode. And I think anybody that's seen it will know. So let me see what Red says here. The Christmas series is a huge disappointment. Oh, I didn't put it up there. 1, I didn't think it ranked high enough to where it needed to be up here when I showed it. And 2, totally stupid. It's stupid. I'm going to say it. I don't give a shit what people think. It's a stupid thing to do, just like the Halloween series they're doing. Absolutely retarded. Next, we're going to get the 4th of July series, or we're going to get the Easter series. You can get stormtroopers with Easter bunny ears on. I mean, stupid, guys. Who is coming up with this in the boardroom and drawing this shit out? Hey, we could do Christmas series stuff. Come on, man. Throw that shit in the trash. No one wants that crap. No one wants it. It's going to peg warm. No one wants it. I don't want it. I know thousands of toy collectors out there that have chimed in on it going, we don't want that shit. Throw it away. So how it even made it to production, I don't know. Nope. No Andor for me, not interested. And that's what I'm getting at. So again, the series, the storyline is okay, and precursor to Rogue One. So this is a prequel to a prequel to a prequel, right? Is that right? Did I do that right? 3 prequels in. So I'm tired of the prequel mentality, especially when you go 3 deep in. But I'll finish it. I'll watch it. But for me, when it comes to the toys, no, they're going to be peg warming, and then we'll see them at Five Below discounted, or Big Lots, or Pick and Save, or McFrugal's, whoever has those stores still. So this is a big no. Even with the droid, I know there's guys that are all about, well, I just like the droids. I'll take the droid. No, it's a big miss for me. Big miss, big no, big thumbs down. Doesn't even look like him. Well, I guess kinda, but. And Red Room says the series is good. I do like it, but not enough to collect the figure. I agree with you 100%, Bob. 100%. The series is good. Again, it's slow. I've been falling asleep and all that crap, but I have to always go back and watch it. And I hate having to do that. If I get that tired in the series, and here, I'm guilty of it. I'll say it right here. I fall asleep as soon as I sit down a lot of the time in front of the TV. I catch a lot of crap from my family about it. But if it's a good movie or a good series, I will stay awake for the most part in it. And this just, to me, screams slow, too boring. But it is cool. The storyline for the series. The toys, big no for me. I won't collect it. I didn't collect the Rogue One stuff. I thought Rogue One was a lot. Let's put it this way. I think Rogue One is definitely a lot better than this series so far. But it is what it is. And then that's it. That's where we're at. So wrapping it up with Hasbro PulseCon 2022. What are your thoughts? Did you like it? Was it a bust for you, or is it a must for you? There are definitely great pieces in the lines of what they released. But as far as an overall, if I had to put an overall assessment and give it a grade, it would be probably coming in right around a C minus. I don't even think I give it a C plus. It was a C minus with everything that was introduced to us. I'll give it a C minus. Definitely not a B, and definitely wasn't A. It was definitely not, let's hit it out of the park. Now, I know there's people out there that are like, oh, Hasbro, I love Hasbro. Pour it down my throat. I get it. Just not for me. There was definitely some great stuff. You nailed it with the Indiana Jones stuff. And hey, listen, I want people to know I am not saying that just because I'm a nostalgist when it comes to vintage stuff. I'll admit, I am a nostalgist when it comes to that stuff. It warms my heart. I find a place with it. I'm not just saying it because, oh, it's Indiana Jones. I liked it. Hey, when those original figures came out when we were kids, I remember as a kid going, kind of looks like Indy, but that's what we had. And I had to adapt to it. And then when Indy got re-released again in the 5-inch figures, right? And I was like, okay, they're weird, blocky, kind of square, but they're cool. I like them. It's Indy. And then when we got the later release stuff, I'm like, what the hell happened to Indy's head? What are we doing to his head? What is going on here? Why is his holster like damn near 3/4 the length of his leg? Why is his pistol so oversized that it should be fitting in a 6-inch figure's hand? What are we doing here? So for what we had and with the design and the technology for us as kids, we had to, we knew that was Star Wars. We knew the 3 3/4 inch. That's not what they look like in the movie, but it was Star Wars, and we loved it. That's all we can get. But as technology got better over 25 to 30 years later, this shit should have been coming out better. And it wasn't. It was coming out as crap. And then here we go, advance. What's it been? Over 20 years since we got a release of an Indiana Jones toy? And they're doing justice. They finally are doing justice for Harrison Ford, one, and the Indiana Jones character. Well, one, the Indiana Jones character, and two, Harrison Ford, and finally getting him right. I've heard people say, oh, he's hard to do. Bullshit. No, he's not. He's not. They have the technology to do it. If they can nail it with like how Todd McFarlane does with a lot of his action figures when he was doing it on some of those sculpts of movie stars or actors, or when he did the band line of like Metallica and Lars and all them, you can't tell me Hasbro can't do that. They can do it. They just didn't want to do it. They just tooled it as best as they thought they could, and they couldn't do it. So don't give me that crap. But anyways, I don't want people to think that I'm just sitting here, oh, I just only love the Indiana Jones stuff. That's not the case. That is not it. It's not because I'm just a dedicated fan to the vintage stuff of the 80s, a nostalgist. They did justice. Hasbro, you did justice. You brought Indiana Jones out of the grave and did him right. So thank you very much. As much as I have to hate the stomach and say that. As far as everything else, your Star Wars line sucked on your releases. I'm sorry. Your G.I. Joe, you killed it almost 3/4 of the way. Your home run was Serpentor. I can care less about Power Rangers. I can care less about the Marvel stuff. I'm on the fence for maybe one of them, maybe two of them out of your line. But other than that, and your selfie series stuff, throw that in the toilet. I don't think you're going to make any money on it. I really don't. So that's my 2 cents and my thoughts on it. And I hope you guys enjoyed this stream. We're already at 1 hour and 45 minutes. Red, Drew, everybody else that popped in the chat, if you were there, I'm sorry. I know I didn't have a big show today. I didn't really promote this one a lot like I did on my other ones, and I think I had a bigger following and all that stuff. So on my other streams, Bill Smith, thank you for tuning in, and Dark Six Soldier, thank you for tuning in. And guys, I'm going to leave it there. I'm Neal with Yesterland Toys, the toys that made sense. You can find me obviously on YouTube. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I am on Patreon. I'm really not posting up there. I haven't decided if I'm going to keep that account. I have no subscribers there, so I'm not afraid to say that. I just don't know if it's worth it. And it's not because I have a low following. It's just, I think I'm at that point now where I'm like, you know what? I don't care if I get any backing as much as I would like it to help make my content creator or my content and being a creator better with it, because it would obviously go equipment and stuff. But I'm thinking about just dropping it, and I think I'm just going to do what I do and start becoming more rough and right off the cuff, if that makes sense. Not really holding back too much of what my feelings are on the line. Like you guys know, I'll do what I have to do to get my point across or what I feel, but sometimes I'm a little bit reserved, and I think I'm just getting to that point. I'm not saying, oh, because I have, whatever it is, 115 followers or 16 followers now, I'm this big old guy and I can do whatever I want now. No, that's not what I'm getting at. I don't want to say that I've been fake in any way. No, I haven't. But I feel like I've been more reserved when I shouldn't have been. And that's not me as an individual. I'm a very outspoken individual normally. And I think now I've been doing this the last 6-7 months. I feel like I feel a little bit more comfortable with being able to not be as reserved. So hopefully that doesn't hurt me in any way, but if it does, it does. Again, I do this for fun. I appreciate everybody tuning in today. I don't want to ramble anymore. Guys, it's Sunday. Go catch your ball games. I'll see you guys next time. Take care.